viewers and all of you are following us in this season where we are focusing on talking about mental health. Our desire is that all of us should know what mental health is, and we should raise concern and also should prioritize mental health. So my name is Derek Chikabi. I am a mental health professional expert and I work with Chwaka Hospital. So today we want to remind each one of you that we are in a season where we have a big day that we always celebrate or that we always observe annually in all the world, and that is the World Mental Health Day. So today, the 10th of October, it is a day that is observed worldwide. And that in a season like this, our theme, our focus is workplace mental health. Workplace mental health. So I'm just going to be talking about a few things that are concerned with workplace mental health, and this will be really a good guide to developing a healthy workplace mental health. First of all, I want us to understand what is workplace mental health. When you talk about workplace mental health, you realize that in an organization where we are working as a team of more than 3 people, you may count 3 or more. Some organizations have up to thousands, others have less than 10. But so long as we're a team and we are more than 2 or 3, and especially to those organizations that are just starting. So when we talk about workplace mental health, we mean a setting where we are working as a team in an environment where we have our psychological needs, our emotional needs, and our social needs that are healthy. So workplace mental health is about having a healthy psychology, a healthy social, and a healthy emotional work life. So on a day like this, where we are observing mental health at our workplace, we are focusing on having a healthy psychology, a healthy emotional, but also a healthy social life in our workplaces. It is very important at such a season because statistics tell us that some of the commonest problems we have in our workplace is stress. Stress is really becoming very common in our workplaces. You realize that our employees and all the staff that may be working in an organization go through some kind of stress, which is a mental health problem. Depression is another condition that is really affecting employees. But also anxiety is another condition. Now all these conditions don't respect whatsoever professional one is doing. It affects all around. It cuts across all workers. And you realize it will also affect different age group. It does not usually affect a certain age group. It can affect all age groups. You notice that even students who are maybe in schools, maybe in classrooms, somehow, somewhere, they are affected by these things. So when you're talking about mental health in workplace, it's really a very serious thing that is happening globally, and majorly with depression, stress, and anxiety. And still, we realize that if these things are not really managed, they will cause lots of physical diseases. There are diseases that develop because of mental health-related conditions. Diseases like hypertension have come up in people because of stress, because of depression, diseases like diabetes, diseases like high cholesterol, high fat levels, obesity is one of the things that is common, strokes, and others really get a reduced immunity just because of a few things that are happening in their workplaces. So if we want to do with workplace related mental health, we want to focus on bringing it to our notice, to make everyone aware that mental health problems can happen in our workplaces. Now, as an employee or as a manager, if we notice more, okay, maybe employees, if we notice that maybe our staff, maybe my colleague has a mental health problem, maybe a symptom that is not normal, that could be pointing to a mental health problem, there are things that we must know even before we take action. Number one, if we notice that somebody maybe having symptoms of depression, symptoms of anxiety, symptoms of stress, the first thing to do is we should not discriminate. We should not discriminate. Many times, mental health problems have been discriminated. In our setting, it is something that people don't want to talk about. They fear to be discriminated. So because of that fear, they will actually hide it. And by the time they know, they are really worsened and things have become severe. So as an employee, as a staff, as a colleague, as a manager, the first thing to do is don't discriminate. We want to find a better way to support. We want to find a better way to hold them up and see them get well. So we must fight mental health problems by avoiding stigma. That's a very key thing when it comes to mental health management and mental health awareness. And number two is regardless of a person's state, they may be rich, they may be low cadre or high cadre. You realize in an organization there are different cadres. Some of them may be at a very low cadre and usually earning a very low salary, and others may be at a managerial level or high cadre. So regardless of their state of cadre, state of salary, it is important to understand that mental health is a universal right. Everybody has a right to living a healthy mental health life. So it is a universal right, and according to World Health Organization, that has been declared. I think that was around 2023. So everybody, whether young, whether old, whether low cadre, whether high professional, whatsoever cadre, whatsoever status, we all have equal rights to living a healthy mental health lifestyle. So that is another thing that as employees we need to know. So don't always feel stigmatized when you are the person going through this. You just have to come up, rise up. You have a right to receiving services regarding your psychology, regarding your emotional, regarding your social well-being. And then as managers, if you are a manager, if I am a manager, maybe I'm a leader of an organization, maybe a manager of a given sector, a given department, it is very important. In our hospital here, we have managers at different levels. But as a manager, at your different levels, it's very important to always support the team that you're working with, because you want to see that they are living a good psychology, but also you want to see that they are living a productive life. Psychology tells us that a positive mind will have a better output. If the mind is positive, they will actually produce better. If the mind is negative, the results will be still not to the expectation. So there are some key things that as managers you can put in practice to help you and your staff live a healthy work life, a healthy mental, healthy workplace as you live in your workplace. Number one, I'll just give a list of a few things. Number one is being a good listener. Listening is one of the skills that we have to cultivate in ourselves on a daily basis. Sometimes I can be a good manager, but with poor listening skills. So listening relieves all the mental health, all the psychological burdens that a worker may have come with at the workplace. Some of the people we work with don't really need a lot. They only need to be listened to so that they can speak out what is inside their hearts, how they feel inside them. Every time we keep our feelings unattended to, then they will result into lots of complication in our psychology. So as a manager, it's very important to be a good listener. It does not mean that everything we listen to will have a solution. But listening is very important. Sometimes the solution may not come in one day. It may take a while, but listening. Number two, it's important to provide opportunity to learn tasks. Learning tasks. Every time we employ people to come and work with us in organizations, for example, in the hospital here where we have very many workers, when we employ them, it does not mean that they know everything to the dot. They may not know all things. They may know some of the things, or they may have an idea on what you want them to do, but they will still need training. So it's very important to provide an opportunity to the team and teach them the task. You want them to do task A, B, C, teach them as a manager that as you're going to do this, I expect you to do as a symptom of regression, and by the time they come, it will be really too late. So we must plan a practice where we resolve conflicts in the simple team that you're working with, but also in a big team. They are very key. They will help us to have better mental health in our workplace. Then it's important to involve our staff in decision making. Some people really don't need a lot in our workplace, but they want to be involved. They need that sense of I am part of the team. They want to feel I am part of the team. If we want to work alone, then we will cause lots of mental health related problems. So it's important to involve the team in decision making. Even a simple decision, you could call the team, ask them what they think about something, and they will feel involved if it is involved. If I'm introducing something new in my department, I don't want to just wake up one day and I tell them from today we are doing A, B, C, D. No, I want to first discuss with the team, see their idea, and then as I am introducing something new, they feel we are part of the story. They feel we are part of the team. Then we need to also to assist workers who may be stressed or living a stressful life. As the work starts on, we expect that some people may feel stressed, may feel depressed, may feel anxious about doing some things. Others may feel uncomfortable doing some things. And that can happen to every one of us. It is not just to some people, but at some day I may feel uncomfortable to do A, B, C, D because of maybe a certain kind of pressure that has arisen inside my psychology. But if a worker has some level of stress that has come inside them, It's very important as a manager to support them, to help them. And like we said, we don't have to segregate them. As a manager, you need to find a good way of working with them. Sometimes some people may feel like you cannot produce A, B, C, D, so I must dwell with you. Okay, that one to some extent some people may do, but it may not be the ultimate solution for helping their mental health live better. The goal here is we want to live healthy in our psychology, we want to live healthy in our emotions, we want to live healthy in the way we feel even about others. That healthy living in our mind is very important. So we support them. And sometimes people may be stressed, and the stress may not have come from around the workplace. It may be they had a conflict at home. Maybe they had a conflict with people around them, and they want to be helped on how best to make a decision on how to do with that. So it's important you may have a chat, we may talk, and then know how best to guide and help in such a circumstance. Then the other thing is you need to have regular work-life balance programs or policies. Now, work-life balance is, we realize that much of our work, we spend it at workplaces. If we begin to calculate, most workers in our setting here will work at least 8 hours in a day. Most workers. And they will go home and then they will spend a few hours attending to their families and then they will sleep. So realize on average they will spend 4 hours at home with their family, 8 hours at the workplace, and then the rest of the hours they are maybe resting, sleeping. And so that means much of the work they have when they're active, it is at their workplace. So we want to train them how to balance the family, how to balance life at the workplace, how to balance the different aspects that are involved in work and life. And we call that work-life balance. If we don't have those policies in our workplace, then we will have staff who will suffer from mental illness or mental related conditions. So as managers, you could plan it in your own department or in your organization and say, how best can I have a policy that will have the work balanced with the other life? People don't only live the working lifestyle alone, but they also have the other side of life. They enjoy sports, they enjoy spiritual kind of life, they enjoy all those aspects of life. The spiritual, the physical, the social, and then the family. Others have some businesses. All that is part of work life. So we need to train them, and that starts with creating a policy and then creating programs. The other one is we need to recognize employees' achievements at work. For example, if I am a good performer, I have performed very well in this year and I've been putting all my effort towards my work, there should be some kind of program, some kind of way of appreciating my achievement. Thank you so much for this period. You have performed well. Those are good things of encouragement and motivating. And as we do that, they should be done timely and maybe in a fair way. For example, it's not about giving, it may be just a simple gift. For example, I may not just give a gift to the person I love because I love them, no. But I need to judge it fairly. Even though I love you but you have not been performing, I will not give you the gift. I want to appreciate the one who has been doing it better and in a fair way and a timely way. If I wait to the end of the year to appreciate you for what you did in January, to some extent it looks like you never know what happened in their psychology between January and December. So those timely appreciation, they are very important in building a healthy psychology, in building a healthy emotion, and also in building a good social connection in our workplaces. And now these other one could really help us in the daily working. Assign manageable workload. When we give too much workload, as the manager, you may be disappointed if your staff has not done it. But we could assign and we make sure that is manageable. That would be really very important. And as we do that, we should allow a chance of flexibility. It's not good to assign work and then be rigid that you must do A, B, C, D the way it is. Sometimes you will notice that there may be changes as you perform the task on how to do it. So it's good to leave a gap of being flexible, that if you do A, B, C, D, the how may change, but the purpose may not change. So assign the work and then offer flexibility. And then lastly is have a professional development training. I think those are some of the things we have tried to do in our organization, in Chiwako Hospital here. Those regular professional development training professionals regularly. Those are help them in updating their knowledge, updating their skills, updating things on how things should do. Also on policies, update them on policies, policy A, B, C, D, most like this. If we don't have that one, some staff may be surprised when you tell them something that they may have forgotten for some time. So, and as staffs, as workers, as employees, it's very important. The first step towards helping yourself is for you to personally recognize that you may not be psychologically okay, that you may not be feeling okay. Practice in Uganda here, people always don't want to say, I am not fine in my psychology. I am not in a good mood. That's our culture here. But it's very important as us here, as we build a health workplace mental health, we need to know that if you are not okay in your psychology, if you are not okay in your mind, if you are not okay in your emotions, it's important to really start when you have not worsened. That's very important. When things worsen, they will go out of your hands. And it will really be a very, very big disappointment when you are not okay. So you can seek help. You can find professionals. We are privileged in a hospital like this. We have mental health experts. So you could find time, come consult. Consulting does not mean that you are really sick. No. You may consult to really ascertain whether there are things that are not okay. But even when you know you are not fine, it's very important. Seek help. Come for a professional service. That will be very fine. And then to other organizations out there that may be watching us and following us, it may be very important to seek professional mental health services wherever you think. Chiwako Hospital is one of them. We have them. But also, that's one. Number two, you could choose to recruit a mental health professional expert who could advise, who could manage, who could help. And that will be very, very helpful. Thank you so much for whatsoever you are doing. Thank you so much for those who are following us on all our social media platforms as Chiwako Hospital. Please keep following. Keep following. We are creating awareness in our communities about mental health. It is something that is rising at a very high speed. But we want people to know that this is something that is manageable. We can change the cycle, we can change the story. something that is taking people can be reversed to bring out the best out of people. Don't forget that on the 9th of November, we'll have a very big practice, a very big celebration, where we shall be observing the same in our community here in Chiwako, and we shall have lots of activities that help to develop and to keep your mental health, your mind, your emotions, and your connection with other people healthy. We shall have sports, we shall have lots of activities that will be happening, and these are all geared towards building us with a good mental health. I hope to see you there. Keep following us to always see different episodes being shared on mental health. You could always share in case they bless you, and it will be very good to see you again. We could meet again next time.